Hey there guys, this is Records with WTBGold, and I hope y'all are ready to kill just a ton of things, because we've got another material farming guide. Okay, so today I'll be showing you the 5 best Embersilk Cloth Farming spots in World of Warcraft. Some of these places may be phased out to you, some of them have questing requirements, some are better for long-term farming, and others are great for just a quick restock. So watch through all of them, and I'll give you a nice flowchart at the end so you know where to go for like your class and circumstances. Oh, and I've got a timestamp in the description for each of these if you're just watching this to refresh your memory about a specific spot. Now, there are 3 honorable mentions here. The Uldum farm under the Obelisk of the Moon is fun, but didn't quite make the cut. Also, neither of the routes recommended by WoW professions are worthwhile at all. But hey, if you're feeling like dealing with a ton of competition, then head over to those. It's the Restless Front in Tolbarad or the Twilight Gate Etten farm in Twilight Highlands. Alright, so let's do this guide. Before you start, I'm going to recommend a couple of things. First, buy a potion of treasure finding off the auction house, or have an alchemist guildie make one for you. With most of these spots, a potion of treasure finding gives you an extra 200 gold per hour, 300 cloth, and 2 to 4 greens, along with about 50 volatiles and 50 ore, so it's totally worth it. Second, buy Findle's looterang off the auction house. Costs a couple hundred gold, but allows you to loot bodies from range, rather than having to run all over the place to get stuff. Also, Findle's isn't going to work in Legion zones. Next, make sure you're on a tailor and have cloth scavenging. I think scavenging comes standard during the leveling process, but on a January 3rd, 2011 hotfix, they buffed this to drop double cloth 50% of the time, up from 25%, so 50% more cloth, great boost. Next, have a yak, a Traveler's Tundra Mammoth, a Jeeves, a vendor pet, something to where you can sell your junk to. And mentioning that, I'd also recommend the add-on SellJunk. That's worth downloading. And remember, you can actually add specific things to it, like the potions and food, the white items that you want to automatically sell off to. Speaking of add-ons, Cross-Realm Assist is a great way to hop realms on the farms that benefit from that. And finally, 2 macros will be useful here. A full zoom out, use this to max out how far away you can zoom out your camera. And next, this one, this casts your instant attack range spell whenever you hover over a live enemy. In my case, it's the Priest Shadow Word Pain, and then it loots an area nearby when you cast while hovering over a body with the looterang. Note that Findle's isn't affected by which way you're facing. It'll still loot things that are out of line of sight, and it doesn't necessarily loot the body you're hovering over, so you may need to cast it twice in order to loot large areas. Alright, geez. Enough talk already, right? Let's go. The 5th best spot for Embersilk Cloth Farming is Verlok Stand. Now, every farm spot in Deepholm has been nerfed. The bats in Shuddering Spire have to be single targeted, and the Stone Hearth farm just doesn't drop loot anymore. After you take the catapultal to Deepholm, head northeast towards the Broken Red Crystal. There's a platform with 50 trogs on it. They're Verlok Shroomtenders and Verlok Grub Thumpers. They aren't elite and will evade pretty quickly, so pull them into a couple of piles. For my recommended route, start at the entrance and do your first AoE right before the bridge. Then run around the right side of the pillar and AoE again on the other side. Pull the next pack all the way to the end, and from there turn around and fly up to the additional platform where there are 15 more trogs. They start respawning at 2 minutes 15 seconds after death, and they finish respawning at 2:45. And since this route only takes a minute, you have 2 options. First, my favorite, is to just relax, open your treasure boxes, and turn all the cloth into Embersilk bolts while you wait for everything to respawn. You'll get less cloth this way, but it's still a ton, and you don't have to do the bolts later. Alternatively, you can use Cross-Realm Assist and do 2 more runs on 2 different realms. Spot's pretty popular, so if you find an empty realm, just manually hop into that group each time. Using this technique, you'll get about 1,400 cloth. Number 4. The fourth best spot for Embersilk farming is Dragonmaw Pass in Twilight Highlands, and we're going to be killing the Twilight Spearwarders. This place used to be absolutely ridiculous, netting like 3,000 to 4,000 cloth per hour. They nerfed the spawn and the drop rates just into the ground, but we have cross-realm assist now, so we're fine. Now, this does have a quest requirement, so these mobs aren't here until you complete the quest Encroaching Twilight, which will take a little while, and I'm almost positive they despawn once you finish the Matthias command quest chain. So there's a very small amount of time you can actually do this farm. You want to stop your tailor on this quest and not complete Twilight Highlands. Otherwise, you won't be able to do this. If I'm wrong on the despawn thing, let me know in the comments. So, just AoE and single target down all the mobs in whatever way works for your class, and then switch realms to do it again. On my priest, I pretty much just cascade and looterang and I'm good. You can expect to get at least 1,600 cloth here, but I mean, that depends on your class. I'm sure a solid monk could pull 2k with no problem once he figures out the best places for his ox statues. Oh, also, bots come here a lot, and if anyone watching makes or uses bots, there's no need to cast Fear Ward on this farm, like, ever. Come on now. Number 3. The third best spot to farm Embersilk is in Molten Front. Now, first things first, this used to be in-game. Patch 4.0 was a Blackwing Descent and Bastion of Twilight. 4.1 was everyone complaining about how mages don't sheep properly in the Zandalari troll dungeons. And patch 4.2 was Firelands and this. So everyone at that point had already completed Mount Hyjal. If you haven't, go to the Heroes board, pick up Heroes Call, Mount Hyjal, and just do quests. Follow the normal quest chain until you unlock it. It'll take anywhere between 2 hours and 5 hours. Oh, and just for completeness, patch 4.3 was the one that required a prot warrior for the Bloods. Now, you can do this entire farm from standing in one spot, and they just insta-spawn around you. If you stand right at the edge of the shadow of one of the pillars, you're in line of sight of 7 out of the 8 mobs, and since 2 have to be up, you just go around clicking on them with your single target and loot macro. And then every 2 minutes, you loot. There's one guy way off in the corner that you kind of need to move a little bit to loot his stuff, but it's fine. From here, you can expect 1,800 cloth per hour. It's fantastic and can be your go-to farm if you don't mind doing a little work ahead of time with quests. Number 2. The second best spot for Embersilk Cloth Farming is the Gate of Hamatep south of Akhenet Fields in Uldum. We are going to be killing Neferset guards here. Now, I haven't run this spot since Dubistote told me about it back in 2013. We've gotten a significant amount of gear in 2.5 years, so you can just one-shot these guys no problem. There are 8 total mobs here, 7 stationary ones and 1 patrol mob, and since they're tied to a quest, there has to be 1 up at all times. After I found my groove, I was able to improve my per hour from 1,000 cloth per hour, which is meh, to 1,800 cloth per hour, which is yay. These mobs have a 2-minute despawn timer, and each round takes like 10 to 20 seconds. So to min-max it, you want to kill as many mobs as you can before you spend time looting. So walk back and forth between killing the 5 in the front and the 3 in the back, and then every 2 minutes, or every like 7 to 8 rounds, something like that, loot the center front guy's body manually, and then throw out a looterang. Go to the back, kill those guys, loot one of them, and then throw out a looterang, and that should get everything the fastest way possible. Optimized, you can expect 60 treasure boxes, 1,800 cloth, 30 greens, and about 400 raw gold per hour. I really like this spot because it has such huge potential, but to have your results not suck, it's kind of a lot of work, and you have to keep track of a lot of things. I like to farm more casually where I can watch YouTube or streams or something. Final tip here, set your view distance to max using our max view distance macro. Set your camera follow style to never adjust camera. And for the front 5 guys, keep an overhead view, and then when you turn around to kill the guys in the back, have more of a POV view. And finally, number 1, the best spot for Embersilk Cloth Farming, hands down, is Bastion of Twilight. I first posted about this place on my blog back in June 2014, and back then, you were actually farming for the epics, which sold for 10,000 gold on the auction house. They're vendor junk now. It's been forever, so watch this video for a detailed look on how to run it. But in short, just kill everything in the first room. If you can taunt or dot the channeling guys around the outside to pull them in, that's best. There's 4 guys in the back, but they slow you down on a per hour basis, unless you pull the whole front room into that hallway. 10 runs of Bastion of Twilight will net you 1,000 to 1,100 cloth. So here's my recommended workflow for this. I'm going to assume that you're using a potion of treasure finding and looking to farm for the entire duration of it, an hour. So first, if you haven't completed the Twilight Highlands quests, do Bastion of Twilight and then head on up to Dragonmaw Pass. If you haven't completed Bastion of Twilight, are you looking for a relaxed farm or something more try-hard? If you're just looking for relaxed, go to Verlok Stand, you'll be fine. If you're willing to bust it out for an hour, if you're melee, go to Verlok Stand. If you're ranged, go to either Molten Front or Uldum, depending on whether or not you've unlocked Molten Front and, which farm you like doing more. And finally, for those who don't know, I want to talk about how to make gold with Embersilk, but I think that'll be best left for a separate video, so look forward to that or click here somewhere. That's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Good luck out there. Have fun farming. Subscribe if you haven't. And please, share this with any gold-making friends. I'd appreciate it. Have a good one. Bye.